until you look to your right and you see a person with a pipe just lighting up next to you, and you see like the conditions that these people live in. Mm-hmm. I mean that
Hey, what up, guys? Welcome back to the 4th episode of Adulting. How y'all doing today? We're doing pretty good. What?
Did you see Bucky just fell over the?
Yeah, we
the
saw him fell.
Okay,
go.
Just go. No, just do it one more time. Do it.
Hey, what up, guys? Welcome back to the 4th episode of Adulting. How y'all doing today? We're doing pretty good.
We're about to hit 2 million subs. No, not yet, but we're almost at 50 subs.
Welcome back to the number one podcast in the world, guys.
We're going to be the number one podcast in the world soon. And
YouTube's youngest and sexiest podcasters.
What?
Are you going to argue against that?
I mean, not for me, but like I feel like YouTube bring it down a little bit.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. I'm
just kidding. I'm bring Bucky into this.
Yeah. I'm pissed. I'm actually so pissed right now.
What's going on, Aviral?
So, as if you guys don't know, it's my girlfriend and I's 1 year anniversary tomorrow.
No one cares.
Bro. It's our 1 year anniversary tomorrow. We had all this stuff planned that we were going to go to like Crave and stuff. Well, everything's fucking closed. Everything is closed. This ruined the plans for this entire week. I mean,
a very good point was just made out by the photographer or our videographer. My bad.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, our videographer Bucky, aka 8 Fingers, is back. He's doing better than ever.
Yes.
Your headache gone, my guy?
Oh yeah.
Well, he told us he just had an upper respiratory infection with a slight headache and a fever.
And a cough.
And a cough. I don't know if that means anything. I'm pretty sure he's fine.
Yeah.
But
did he just cough? Oh. Yikes! All right,
we'll get the disinfectant wipes around here.
Let's get into it. Basically, the United States is completely shutting down right now.
Dude, we're losing it. Everything's like it's a big panic right now. Everyone's freaking out. Everything's shutting down. Yeah. This is bad.
This is more viral than when Barack Obama played basketball. What?
What? When did he play basketball?
Obama? I played him in basketball.
Oh my god.
All right. Okay.
Basically, this past weekend, our governor of Minnesota announced that schools will be shutting down all the way to March 30th. But I think it's expected that it could possibly go to the end of the year, guys.
Yeah.
It's quite possible.
I went in and talked to some teachers yesterday, and they're like, "You might not be coming back."
Yeah.
I was like,
"Oh, you went in?"
Well, that kind of
because they suck at putting grades in.
But the thing is, you're a junior, and so Aviral and I are seniors, and like I don't know how this is gonna play out, man. Like we not even walk this year.
Dude, this is kind of sad. Like I didn't go through 12 years of this to graduate in my living room.
Twitch graduation, go hard.
Yeah, it's going to be like, we're going to have to pull up Skype on our computers, and there's going to be like 200 people in the lobby, and then there's going to announce a name, and it's going to be a video recording of a person walking across.
Or even worse, they just mail us the diploma and say, congratulations on your future endeavors or whatever.
Yeah, dude, this is depressing.
Yeah, and so basically, we don't really know what's going on right now. No one knows what's going on. Everything is just completely like alternating day by day. Everything's changing. They're saying March 30th is when they're going to start coming up with more ideas, but it's looking like we could either go for several weeks on end of not going to school, or I mean it could be the rest of the year, and it's quite honestly crazy. I don't even know what's going on. Everyone's canceling. What?
I think it's pretty epic.
Well, yeah, you think it's pretty epic. You're a junior.
Yeah.
But like I think a lot of seniors around the country are feeling the same way as like the two of us. We don't particularly enjoy going to school every day, but like this is kind of sad that our last quarter of our senior year, there's a chance that it gets canceled. And just think about all like the athletes and stuff that play spring sports and
Yeah, think about Bucky, the videographer. He might not even be playing lacrosse this year.
Yeah, right. But like he's a junior too. So imagine like
he still gets next year. But everyone who's not a junior and is a senior, I mean, little did they know that last year was their last year of ever playing their sport.
Yeah, that is
for high school.
That is sad. Like they don't get to walk on the field in front of all their fans again as a senior. They don't get senior night.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Diss track on the coronavirus, bro.
Yo, no, we're dropping it next
We're dropping a diss track.
Next episode, wow.
Comment down below if you want to see a diss track on the coronavirus.
Yeah. Also, it is St. Patrick's Day. in my opinion, one of the most overrated days of the year.
I mean, it's like Cinco de Mayo. It's just an excuse for people in the United States to drink.
Yeah, and we're green, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. We made those leprechaun traps that never worked.
Huh, I got green on. I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day is
Are you a leprechaun?
I mean, I'm like 5'5", so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But St. Patrick's Day is one of those holidays where you just don't even realize it's happening until it's like...
I didn't know it was a holiday until I looked at the Snap Map this morning and saw the 4-leaf clovers everywhere. I was like, oh.
It's that one holiday
where's
that one annoying kid that comes up to you and just like pinches you, and
you're like, oh, you again.
Yeah, and you're like, what do you want? I thought I got rid of you last week. You're not wearing green. St. Patrick's Day.
Whoa,
dude, leave me alone. You bully, dude. That is so mean. I would never say that to anyone. You're such a bully.
Yeah, as you guys remember, Josh is the most modest, honest, genuine person that there is. He wakes up every morning and he tells himself, God, I'm a good person.
Yeah. He tells himself he's humble.
Yeah,
I do. I like to tell other people I'm humble too.
Yeah.
He loves telling everyone he's humble. So, let's get into it. The giant elephant in the room. Or it's not elephant size. It's like...
Talking about your pink headphones or no?
These pink headphones are sick.
No. The salt on the table?
No, not that either. It's like
pink
microscopic, goes by COVID-19, coronavirus, a bunch of other names.
Yeah. Some people are calling it names that are far worse than that.
We know who you are.
Yeah. I don't even want to get into that. But, all right. I'm going to tell you guys something. So, my dad's a small business owner, as you guys know. You guys been to his restaurant. And last night at about 5:30, they announced that all restaurants in Minneapolis will be closed effective immediately and only are allowed to do takeouts, to go, and curbside pickup. So basically, no customers are allowed to actually step foot inside the restaurant.
That's tough.
And for small business owners, they're really going to see an impact on this because, I mean, it's going to be like a challenge to see like can they survive or not, and it's really devastating to see that this is all happening. Especially because we don't even know what's going on with this virus. We don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to continue to keep growing, or are we going to see a decline in this virus really soon? And I mean, if the decline means that everyone has to stay inside their home, locked up, I think
it's going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's going to be a time with this virus where most people we know have it.
Yeah.
Then I think it'll slowly kind of drop
Really?
away. Yeah.
You think...
I think it's going to continue to grow a lot.
Yeah, but do you think it'll get to that level where...
like, a lot of people have it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, if you think about it, it's more viral than the cold. And there have definitely been times where it's like, it seems like everyone has a cold, you know?
Yeah. Well, what we're seeing...
half your classes are out because just people don't have the cold. And
yeah, well, I think the thing that we're seeing, too, right now is people, like, in their 20s or younger than that actually have COVID-19, but they're not showing any symptoms. They're just carrying the virus. And then what's happening is that they're spreading it to people with the weaker immune systems who are actually showing symptoms and are actually, like, getting sick. And so... I mean, way more people could honestly have it right now than we know.
I'm still pretty frustrated. So, before we had to end school, because we don't have school this week, before we ended it, I had a viral TikTok idea. It was such a good idea, and it can't happen now because it was at school. Anyways, I was going to run around and I was going to videotape. I was going to be like, I tested positive for COVID-19. Now I'm going to make everyone in my school test positive. And I was going to go touch all the locker banks. That would have gone viral.
What is wrong with you?
We've seen this movie before. Y'all heard of Rudy Gobert?
Rudy Gobert.
We've seen this before.
Do you want to get fired too, Josh?
No. Well.
Yeah, we already take 15% of his money anyway.
No. I'll fire you because I'm the CEO.
The 5 cents that we've made so far.
Yeah. Oh, we made money off of our first episode, which we did not expect at all. So. That's all because of you guys, so thank you for your support. Keep supporting, keep liking, and make sure you get your friends to subscribe.
Yeah. If you're watching, or if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we love you just as much as the people that are watching us on YouTube. But make sure when you get home to just drop a like, hit the subscribe button, just so we can get the subscribers up. And maybe you want to see what's going on through our video, because I think it's funny what we were doing too. Our last couple segments that we did on our last episode, I thought that was really funny and entertaining, and I think that's kind of something that you have to watch to actually enjoy it.
The video just adds another element of entertainment and allows us to be more creative than, purely just audio.
Yeah.
Which I commend people that do, like, basically audio-only podcasts, because, I mean, that's a lot of work, because it's hard because you don't have this extra element of being basically face-to-face. I mean, we're looking at a camera right now, but basically being face-to-face with the audience.
Yeah.
And you have to be very descriptive. It's like back when sports weren't always televised, the radio commentators, those are probably some of the greatest commentators ever, because they had to describe, like, everything.
Every single thing that was happening.
Every single detail, because they didn't have that extra element of...
Crazy.
Yeah. So, thanks for supporting us. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We finally got on Apple Podcasts after about a week of dealing with them.
Also, if you're listening to us and you have no idea what we look like, let me just say, me, co-host Dante, is about the finest looking co-host on this podcast.
False.
False. I think our videographer would disagree with that, right?
Question for you, Bucky.
Yeah.
Is Dante the finest looking co-host on the podcast? That is a hard no from the videographer.
The videographer's afraid of me.
Yeah,
he says I'm not trying to get
fired. Bucky, I am the CEO. I will keep you on the podcast.
You're adopted by the podcast.
By the podcast.
Yeah.
By the podcast.
Yeah. I don't think your parents told you that yet.
No.
Have they?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
That's awkward.
Have your parents had the talk with you yet about your car?
About my car?
Yeah.
No, we're not going into this. No, absolutely not. We're not going into this.
You don't want to go into it?
No, absolutely not.
Are you gonna have to put the mufflers back on though?
I think they're okay with it for now.
How about the resonator?
When I give it to my sister,
Oh.
then they want me to put it back on because...
Your sister's gonna drive that car?
Maybe. They're like, we don't want Cameron driving a race car around.
I think you should get it wrapped. Like a NASCAR wrap on it.
Get racing stripes. Yeah.
No. Should I
put the adulting logo on
it. Should I wrap it in like blue chrome with like some crazy decal? Pull up to school every day. Who is that?
You should wear like a racing helmet every
That's
time
my little
you drive.
sister who just wants a white Jeep.
Hey. Make sure you share our podcast as much as you can so we can get the money to support Josh's habits.
Yeah, his financial deficit.
Absolutely not. Everything we make goes back into the podcast for better video quality.
That is true. We're looking at different ways of
camera.
Video.
Yeah, we want to get some new cameras, some new microphones. But yeah, we have to get another microphone for our guest, who we're hoping to be having on pretty shortly. I think we already have an idea of who we're going to have on, and so it's going to get really entertaining once we get.
And another thing, I mean, we'll talk more about this off camera, but I wanted to talk to you guys about this was, set design. Once we start making money, do we want to change up this set and things of that nature? With
maybe a little bit.
I mean, to be honest, I think we're going to have to get another space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might have to end up renting out a studio.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, we're actually in my basement right now. And I'm still 18. I'm 18, so I still live under someone else's household. And my parents, every time they walk down here...
Well, I mean, we could go hard in your guys' dorm room. I don't know how that would work because it might not be big enough, but... We could go hard in my house, too.
We could go loco.
I have a big space, we can do that.
Yeah, but what are the chances that your parents are going to react any differently than mine?
They probably won't care. I have a huge room upstairs. It's got like a ping pong table on the couch. It's literally just like...
And no one uses it?
Go there.
And no one uses it?
Yeah, it's like where me and my sister just go with friends.
Drop your exact address down below for the viewers.
No. Social security number.
Social security number and your bank account number.
Yeah.
And the 3 numbers on the back.
Yeah. Don't know what those are, but I need them.
Don't know. Okay.
All right, let's get back into it. All right.
Yeah. Good.
So like, what do you think? Do you think that there will be any extra action steps taken to like help these small businesses who might be suffering during this time? I mean, think about all the people who are going to be having to claim unemployment right now because, I think I saw that, 4,000 employees are from one business, I think it was Caribou, are going to be unemployed right now during this time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know if you know this, but President Trump, he just signed a legislation, I think, about 2 weeks ago, where they're basically going to funnel $8.3 billion from the national budget, from the miscellaneous budget, into basically into the economy to help support small business owners.
Yeah.
And how it works is they can, basically it allows them to get loans from the federal government, which are emergency loans. So they're simple loans, so as in there's no interest in them. So, if you take $100K out, you're not paying $170K back. You're paying $100K back to the government once you can support yourself. And oh my God.
I think too though that the people who are higher up and are wealthy and are making the money and are like leasing spaces out to these small business owners, I think they need to be considerate during this time too. And I don't know, maybe put a halt on rent or something like that, because I mean this truly is a crisis for the economy, and I really think that we need to all be working together to make sure that we don't completely go under.
Yeah, because I mean, a very high percentage of all the transactions that happen in the country and pretty much around the world are from small businesses. So and small businesses, if you don't know, most of them don't have surplus amounts of money stored away for a crisis like this. These are people that are working.
Yeah.
The owners are working day to day.
A large majority of the money is going back into the business to continue operating.
Yeah. So I mean, small businesses, they don't turn that much profit when you think about it after everything is said and done, because the owners have to pay their salaries to their workers. They have to pay themselves.
Yeah, it's just enough to survive.
Yeah, and so this is some people's entire livelihoods, and something that I talked about on the third episode was how some certain athletes are taking action, helping out their personal community.
Right.
And that's something I would like to see is some like professional athletes in the area. So because these people who do have a lot of money, they always want more, but who doesn't? I don't blame them for it, but they do have a lot of money. And excuse me.
Oh my gosh, he just coughed. Again, that's twice, ladies and gentlemen. Take count.
Bucky, can you go grab us the Lysol?
Yeah. Bucky, let's get a Aviral cough counter going. That's twice already.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, as you were saying, you want to see more action steps being taken by these athletes, these local athletes?
I mean, it doesn't even have to be that these people are giving out loans to these small businesses or anything. Just, going out and supporting these small businesses, which is really hard right now because everything's shut down.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like with restaurants.
You and I just went to the gas station today, and it was quite honestly almost empty.
Yeah, it was rated. It was almost empty.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like
that's crazy.
The medicine shelf, like the little pharmacy shelf that they have is completely empty. I don't think they had any water bottles left.
Everything that they had was like non-essentials.
Yeah, like all they had was like coffee and
chips,
the hot food and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, if you needed to go to the gas station and get like a bottle of water or something, which by the way is another problem I have. Why are people stocking up on bottled water?
Or how about the fact that like water is so expensive?
Well, yeah, that too. But in our county, we have safe, clean drinking water, which is similar to a lot of other counties in the U.S. I mean, there's only a handful of places that don't have safe, clean drinking water, and that's
like think about places like Flint, Michigan.
Yeah. That would be understandable if they were stocking up on bottled water. But why are people around our area stocking up on bottled water?
I don't know.
I mean, it's just causing more problems when you think about
strange,
it.
Yeah.
And I just have a huge problem with this entire culture of like just stocking things up just in case. I mean, people buying like five packages of 24 rolls of toilet.
Families freak out when anything happens.
Yeah.
Did you see in the news the guy who had over like 14,000 things of like cleaning sanitary supplies, and like he was selling them on Amazon for like 6 times the price that he bought them for.
He was trying to upsell.
Yeah, and it was to the point that Amazon banned him, and then the local government is now making him just like disperse the items free. Like
he made a bunch of money though.
Yeah.
He already probably covered all of his expenses, the operating expenses or whatever. But
it's horrible to see people like being so greedy during these times.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of messed up that people are trying to take advantage of.
Kind of a smart dude though. I won't lie.
Yeah, I mean, it's an economic opportunity, no doubt, but that's kind of where does ethics come into play in this case, where you got to be ethical and work for the common good rather than just yourself. Because I mean, what are you gonna do with that money if there's no one around
Also,
anymore?
Invest it back into the company.
Let's be honest. Who truly needs that much toilet paper?
Yeah. Think about it. When you buy a 24 pack for, let's say, an average family
that gets you through a long
4
time.
people, that's usually good for like 3-4 months at least.
Yeah.
Why do you need 5? I mean, are you stocking up for the next like 17 years?
There's a lot of regions across the globe where people like don't necessarily use that much toilet paper because I mean there's other things that you can do with like you don't really need toilet paper to be honest.
Right.
I mean,
I'd say it's a basic necessity.
We don't have bidets here.
Yeah, we don't have.
I know, but there are alternatives. Like if you're like wealthy, I don't think you need to be greedy and like buying out stores of toilet paper. I mean, think about all the other people who need.
Yeah, but just because they're wealthy doesn't mean they like don't need toilet paper.
I know, but I'm saying just because you're wealthy doesn't give you the right to buy all the toilet paper within a.
Yeah,
I know.
I was at Sam's Club yesterday. I was at Sam's Club with my family, and basically, at the most inopportune time. So we usually buy like 3 packs of Clorox wipes, right? And that gets us through like 2 months or so. Because, I mean, those packs don't have a lot of in it. And when you're trying to keep a house clean, you run through it pretty fast. So we usually buy 3 packs and it gets us to like 2-3 months. We ran out. And my grandma is with us right now. If you guys don't know, my grandma, she lives in India, but she's visiting right now. And she came here right before the coronavirus was declared a global even epidemic. So it's crazy to think about a month ago this was just another basic thing, but she was here.
Well, it's been going on for far longer than that too.
Yeah,
but they're saying that China was keeping this under wraps because they didn't think it was as big of a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it was in Wuhan, and Wuhan is
they were saying that they had it under control. Whereas they're saying that if they had declared this an emergency earlier, we could have maybe taken earlier precautionary steps to like prevent it from getting to this extreme of measures that we're having to take. Because I mean, if you're seeing in China right now, I believe there's already a decline in the virus happening in China now.
China is for those of you who don't know, China is already closing down their temporary hospitals that they had set up. They're closing all those down because it's almost gone in China.
Yeah,
but it is everywhere else.
Yeah, but I mean, it's traveled all the way over the world. So the first, I think, case we had in the U.S. was I think it was in L.A.
Yeah.
Because that's the port where
Yeah, well, and it was people getting off like cruise ships.
Yeah, it was people getting off. Yeah. I'm pretty sure those people didn't have it until because these. So how most of the stuff that China exports, it comes over via boats and ships and things like that, and the virus could have been transmitted. So it was in Wuhan, and Wuhan is a place where they have like very massive manufacturing plants, such as I'm pretty sure Apple manufactures their stuff there.
Right. Yeah.
Which is
I believe they were saying that I could be wrong, but I think that they said that Wuhan was actually the vape industry of the world too, where they were like creating a bunch of vapes. And obviously there's a lot of people. I was
wrong. I was wrong. It wasn't LA. It was Seattle, because Seattle is where most of the exports come into, and that's where they get processed, and then they travel around the world.
I know it's so bad in LA right now too that they're talking about like what they're doing in Italy, basically making everyone like stay inside their house.
That's what they're doing in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Everyone's on house arrest.
Yeah.
But the problem is with San Francisco is a very high percentage of people there don't have a house to go into
there's an insane
lockdown.
Large homeless population within San Francisco.
And that's another issue because I mean if you're gonna lock down an entire city like that, San Francisco's got a very large population, and such
really big cities.
It's a big city, and with the homeless population in San Francisco, these homeless shelters going to be overcrowding, and that might cause more.
Seattle too.
Yeah, that might cause more. I mean,
there's probably already like a capacity before this even happened in San Francisco, to be honest, on like how many people are inside the homeless shelters. Like there's still a lot of people. There's a lot of people who are going to be stuck outside.
Yeah, and a lot of homeless people are pretty young. And as we know, a lot of times in younger populations, so basically anyone under the age of like 35, this doesn't show symptoms. Mm-hmm. And so these people could be carrying it, and then, they get into the homeless shelter, They don't even know they have it.
Mm-hmm.
But once they're in that homeless shelter, those places are crowded. They're not like nice hotels, obviously.
Right, yeah.
And then it gets transmitted to all the other people there.
Yeah.
And so with this entire lockdown thing, it could work in a place like where we live, where it's a pretty affluent area and it's mostly families, and it's a bedroom community. For those of you who don't know what that means, it's basically a place where they don't have a lot of business operations, and a lot of people don't work directly in the town that they live in. They'll travel to another city or neighboring city to go work. So yeah,
I don't think our homeless population is like large enough to be like compared to other big areas, but we have over 7,000 homeless people living in Minnesota.
And yeah, that's another topic that we want to discuss.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks ago when we were at DECA, we were hungry after our competitions, and the way that area of downtown Minneapolis is that basically anything near the hotel is extremely expensive. It's pretty expensive restaurants. It's like $200 a night steakhouses and stuff, and we're like, we just want to get like a light lunch, like McDonald's or something, and the nearest McDonald's is about a mile away, so we didn't think too much of it.
Well, I had been there once before.
You had?
Well, because I went there with...
He went a couple hours previous.
Yeah, you went there... Oh, I thought you meant like before the trip.
Yeah, I didn't get anything there, but... and I had told them, like, it's like kind of a bold walk. Yeah. It's a little sketchy in some areas. And this dude freaked out. Dante freaked out.
I don't know if I was necessarily freaked out. I was just like, hey guys, we got to be aware that...
You were freaked out.
Hey,
Aviral remembers.
I mean,
it was also the fact that, like, hey guys, we got to be aware, like, look at, we're wearing, we were
wearing like suits and ties.
We have to dress business professional for the competition that we were competing in. So we obviously stand out. And I mean, we're 3 young kids, and so we're walking around like, I'm just like, hey, we got to make sure that, like, we're being aware of our environment. Not that I was saying like we were like a threat or something, but I mean, you have to be like aware of. You have to
be careful. Yeah. Don't draw attention.
Yeah.
But my experience was very kind of, enlightening in some ways, because you hear about places like San Francisco, and there's a lot of homeless people there, and there places like Detroit where there's a very high crime rate and things like that, and you're like, it can't be, like, you don't think of it, you think of it, it can't be that bad. If you like stay careful, it can't be that bad. Well, I just want to say, you don't know what it's like until you actually step foot in that neighborhood. Until you look to your right and you see a person with a pipe just lighting up next to you, and you see like the conditions that these people live in. That neighborhood is probably, it's a place where it's affected by gentrification.
And that's the thing. These areas where there are people who are homeless, they are struggling, and they're more likely to be using some sort of narcotic that as a form of self-medication, because they obviously don't have health insurance. They're not being assisted the way that they need to be, both mentally and physically, and so there's people who are abusing drugs, and you have to be careful with that, because it can be dangerous.
And it hit me kind of really hard when we actually went inside the McDonald's. So after we walked through all that stuff, and we actually stepped inside, and the person taking my order, it was pretty obvious that they were a user of some sort of narcotics, and like the effect that it had on, like, when you see someone face to face, like this far away from you, and you look at them in their face, and like you can tell that this person is struggling, but they're also basically they don't have any money or anything.
It's pretty eye-opening.
Or how about the fact that the bathroom there was locked by an electric lock that you had to ask an employee to unlock for you in order to be able to use?
It was just like a very
interesting experience.
It was an experience that I thought I necessarily wanted, but I can tell that it was something I really did need. Because pretty much my entire life, I've lived in places of
suburbia.
Yeah, I've lived in suburbia. Like,
It's like a bubble. You live in a bubble.
My entire life I've lived so when I was in India, I don't remember much, but I know that my family was pretty wealthy.
How old were you when you moved here?
Five.
Okay.
And so my family was pretty wealthy, and so we lived in the nice part, so I never really got to see the living conditions of the poorer people of the country. And when I moved to the U.S. first, my family, we lived in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is another very wealthy area, and so I never really saw any of that. And now I live in Minnesota in Prior Lake, which is another pretty wealthy area. So you don't really see that stuff until you step out of the bubble, and it wasn't something that I was planning on doing, but when I did it, it kind of opened my eyes to a lot of these things where I saw. I mean, it's a powerful experience that when you're just waiting at a stoplight to cross the street and you see a person just like with a thing in their mouth and a lighter, and you don't realize the effect that it has on you until you actually see it face to face. So it was a very powerful experience for me.
And I definitely don't think that we're like, I don't know, professionally like educated on this topic.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that I personally would be really interested in learning more about. And I think my dog's barking.
Yeah.
I think it'd be something that many, not only us, but that like we should learn about, because I think it's something that everyone needs to learn about, and I think it's something that needs to become brought more into the light of awareness. And I think that if we learn about it, like with the platform that we're like starting to build, like we can talk about it more too, and like have a little bit more knowledge about like what exactly is going on, and like what's the extremeness of this.
Right,
Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh, so you since your parents they own like property up in downtown Minneapolis, do you like frequent there a lot?
No, well, we go there like not that much though. Like so sometimes like over
Your parents work from home mostly?
yeah, both my parents work from home.
Okay.
But so when we'll go up for like, so we do this thing like where we'll go out to eat at like Maddie's. We'll go out there, and we do it around Christmas time, and we go and we stay in a hotel, and we kind of just have like little like family vacation. But that is most of the time, other than when my dad's up there for work, that we're up there. We're not up there very often. But I like to go up there when there's like events at the convention center. I'll go up there and get like breakfast and stuff, because there's a lot of good breakfast, and sometimes like football games, baseball games. Other than that, like we're not up there that much.
Did another thing I noticed was, so around the hotel that we were at and the Minneapolis Convention Center, anything south of that was pretty affluent area. It was expensive steakhouses, sushi bars, Target headquarters, IDS Center.
Right.
A lot of Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah, I mean, pretty affluent, very nice area, very well taken care of.
High security.
Yeah, and you basically stepped 100 feet north of the Minneapolis Convention Center. It was the exact opposite. It was like, oh, I'm getting goosebumps right now talking about this. It was the exact opposite, where you saw people who were dependent on drugs. Very shady stores. Things of that nature, which was crazy to me, that I feel like there was some sort of imaginary line drawn on Nicollet Mall Road. That was an imaginary line, that anything north of this is, completely different from whatever is south of this.
Right, yeah.
And another thing I saw was, there was like I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was like some sort of, it was like a bus station near the convention center.
Yeah.
And there was a sign on it, like a advertisement, which was directly aimed at this homelessness situation, where it was like an anti-gentrification sign, and it was like the people who I don't even remember what it said, but it's pretty obvious when you go there that right here is where the line is drawn, and anything north of that is people living in poverty. Right. And this poster was basically saying like you're buying out these people's homes, like you're making it so these people that have lived here their entire life, they can't afford to live there anymore, because Starbucks are popping up and offices are popping up in the area, and these people can't afford to live in that area anymore, because it's becoming more like what South downtown Minneapolis is.
Yeah, and I've had people who I've considered close to me in my life who've abused some pretty high level drugs, and what it does to a person is it's insane. It's devastating to see what they go through. It's devastating to see how negatively it impacts their body and mental health. And I mean, I don't want to get too much into it or anything. I don't want to talk about it a whole lot, but I mean, it's really sad to see that this is going on all over.
Mm-hmm. And how easy it is for like kids in high school to get their hands on stuff. Crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not a big like fan of like saying that kids don't know anything, but I believe it now. Like we really don't.
Yeah.
You know, there's obviously like people that I wouldn't say I know like I'm friends with anyone that does this stuff, but you know, there's people that we know of people that abuse hard drugs and things like that. And how they got into it is basically they got it from a friend who told them it's not that bad. Well, I mean, if you see what it does to people,
it's bad.
5 feet away from you,
it's bad.
I don't think you will ever get within 5 feet of any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the experience that I did,
mm-hmm.
which was, in my opinion, a very necessary experience.
But I mean, peer pressure is a thing too. It's not something that like adults just like tell you about. I think it's like it's real.
I mean,
like,
you have to learn about it from experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like
right, yeah.
Experience is the best teacher. There's no other way around it. And I'm not saying like by experience I mean like what we saw, like you know, seeing it in front of you, not just go and shoot up in your bathroom. That's not what I meant by experience.
It's something as easy as I mean, the education system in schools like raising more awareness about it and actually like being willing to go into depth about it and like talk about to like the students about like this is what's happening, these are the effects. I mean, rather than just saying don't do drugs.
Well, I feel like they do a pretty good job about it, about as much as they can, because I mean, obviously they're not gonna like bust 200 kids up to.
No, but
downtown.
I'm not saying to put them in the environment, but I'm saying to like talk about it more in depth. I mean, there's I've had classes where they've had people who now are several years sober and like work at like a rehab facility who've come and talked about it, and I think that's an experience that like that's an experience that a lot of people need. Like
yeah, that's something I'd say. You know, experience is the best teacher. I'm a firm believer in that. Because I mean, yeah, you can say you learned something, but unless you actually go out and do it, you can't really say you learned it.
Right.
And you can write down what effects like some narcotic has on your brain on a test and then forget it after. But unless you actually see it in front of you,
mm-hmm.
I don't think you'll really care. That's really what it is. Yeah. Like people don't care.
Right, well, yeah. I mean. We're seeing more and more youth too, like getting into this stuff. And
yeah,
it's not just people who are low income, homeless people. It's like it's everybody. Everyone is affected.
It's interesting to see like when they move up. So like the government moves you can't buy like nicotine or cigarettes until you're like 21,
mm-hmm.
and that changes nothing. Like I forget what the act was that banned alcohol.
The Prohibition.
Yeah, Prohibition Act.
It was an amendment actually.
Whatever.
But then it got canceled out.
Yeah, but it didn't do anything.
It didn't do anything. It just made
find a way.
And what that does. Okay. PSA. Just before I say this, I'm not advocating for the legalization of narcotics, but what I have to say was like that Prohibition Act. If it just created more problems because then all these gangs popped up, like, you know, Al Capone and things of that nature.
And then all the speakeasies that were going up where people were going underground and, like, bootleggers and people...
Basically, if it can make someone feel good for 5 minutes, but it will give you a lifetime of terrible experiences, there's people that'll do it. And there's no going around it.
You start off with something that you don't deem, like, that heavy or negative to your body, and it works for a while, and then it goes down and it's not doing anything for your body for it has no effect on you, so then you move up and you're continuously abusing more and more and harder
Yeah.
drugs that until to the point where sometimes it results in death.
And another thing I have a problem with is, I don't want to sound like a Karen here, okay?
Oh boy.
But I'm
Oh,
gonna
boy.
sound like a Karen.
Oh Lord.
I have a problem with the glorification of drugs and alcohol in Hollywood.
Mm.
I mean,
Mhm.
look at Post Malone. You know, we talked about it a little bit on the last episode,
Mhm.
but he kind of, a big part of what he makes his music about is,
I think that was episode 1 actually.
oh yeah, it was episode
Yeah,
1.
yeah.
A big part of, you know, what he makes his music about is, like, he raps about drugs and alcohol, and, you know, there's people our age listening to it.
And death.
And death. You know, I feel like that's just something he's experienced. Like, he has experience with depression and things like that. So, but, you know, rapping about drugs and alcohol and then not knowing the effect it has on like your audience. So, for example, Lil Pump, of all
boy.
people.
Oh boy.
Lil Pump said he's gonna stop rapping about popping pills last year, and he hasn't done it, which I commend him for that, because
I don't think, has he even dropped anything?
I don't know. I don't really care about it.
Yeah, but basically, I mean, he was a
Seriously.
pretty big artist for a while, for about a year and so, and then he kind of fell off because he didn't drop anything for a while.
And his largest population of listeners are the youth.
Yeah, and he recognized it, and he said, you know, I'm putting an end to it. I personally am not gonna rap about popping pills. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think it's like, it's interesting because put these thoughts into like the youth's mind, like about drugs and popping pills, and then the youth thinks it's cool and starts to do it themselves. And I'm not trying to like say that like rapping is like the cause of like youth using drugs, but like
It does glorify. It does
plays
glorify.
a little
it,
play
yeah.
into it.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's your decision, but
Yeah.
there's certain things that affect your decisions.
Yeah.
And if you see all your friends are doing it, or you're listening to music about it, and you're like, oh, this person's really cool. They've made $20 million, and they're only 18 or 19 years old. Like, if they can do it, like, and they're making this much money, then I should be fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
And that's really what it boils down to, because I don't think anyone's that stupid, at least not in 2020, where they think this person is doing drugs and they made $1 million. So if I do drugs,
Oh, I
I'm
think
gonna make.
people are that dumb.
Really?
Yeah.
I just think
of
people.
multiple
I think
that
people
would
see
do
it
that.
as more. This person made $1 million and they do drugs, and they still made $1 million. It didn't really affect them.
Mhm.
So I should be able to do it, and it won't
But
really
if you
affect
look
them.
at
No, I definitely think there are a lot of people who see these, like people who are like, I don't know, glorifying this, and they're like, I'm gonna do it too, and I'm gonna get famous. And sometimes it has happened.
yeah,
It has happened.
one thing
People do get famous.
I would say is that, so like these super wealthy people that we're talking about, like these rap artists and stuff that live in LA and crazy places like that, if we look at the wealthiest people, like they're wealthy, but like talking like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, like those like tier 1 like billionaires,
Yeah.
because Lil Pump's not a billionaire.
Yeah, that's a top tier.
Singers aren't billionaires.
Yeah.
Their producers are, but singers aren't billionaires. They're very wealthy and they have hundreds of millions of dollars.
Not even. I mean, most.
No,
I mean,
there are some people who
There's
Drake.
people. Drake, yeah.
Drake, Taylor Swift.
Ariana Grande.
People who you would consider like the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
But like,
not
you know,
the greatest of all time, but like the biggest.
like Hall
the
of Fame,
biggest
Hall of
our
Famer
era.
level.
Yeah, the biggest.
Yeah,
of
maybe
our
not the
era.
greatest of all time, but definitely the most successful.
Like Hall of Fame,
Definitely
like
the
Hall
most
of, if
successful.
there was like a rapper or musician Hall of Fame, not just the
Right.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
But
Yeah.
I'm saying like the wealthiest people aren't doing those drugs. They're just really smart people, and they had the idea, and they went with it. So, as
Yeah.
much as people are like, I can get wealthy by doing these drugs, like the most wealthy people did not take that route.
yeah, but people don't see that, because those people, when you think about it, they don't really have a platform.
Mhm.
They don't have a platform to speak on,
Right.
because I mean, when was the last time you heard something from Bill Gates directly?
Elon Musk. He talks about
Elon.
ugly Tesla.
See, Elon Musk.
A lot.
Yeah, he's a younger millennial, and so he grew up in that sweet spot where it was technology was really big, but he was also in that demographic of people that were struggling with debt and things like that. So he understands what basically everyone likes, except the older generation, the baby boomers, because no one really understands them. But he understands how to use his influence and create a platform for it.
Yeah.
So he was able to do it. But I mean, Jeff Bezos, does he have any social media?
I don't know, but he is the richest guy in the world. And he's very private about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's a private guy.
But did you see?
But like, I think probably the best example is Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill Gates is a genius. I don't know if you've seen his he did a TED Talk 4 or 5 years back.
Oh, about the corona, right?
No, it's not about corona.
No, but
it's why we aren't ready for the next epidemic.
Oh yeah.
That's it's going viral.
No, it's
right
not
now.
necessarily about the corona, but he predicted that there was going to be something like this,
and we weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
We weren't. So.
And here's a hot take. These people, like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, are wealthy as they are, not because they cheated the system. Yes, they were smart about it, and they did play the system a little bit. But to everyone that says these people, cheated their way to making $1 billion or whatever, no, they weren't. They didn't cheat.
I don't know how you can cheat your way to make $1 billion because
they were just smarter. They were just smarter than 99.99% of the population.
Yeah.
And I said this in one of my classes, and people don't like hearing that. Like, people just have a sense where they don't want to hear that they're not as smart as this next person.
Mm-hmm, right, because
it's
look
not
around this room, who
hard.
here could rebuild a computer? Like Bill Gates did.
Yeah.
It's not always about working the hardest either, too. I mean, working hard, yeah, you can be comfortable working hard, but it is definitely about being the smartest player out there.
And I have a thing about
work to be the smartest.
I have a thing about.
Yeah, but there are people who work their freaking ass off, work beyond hard, and are not successful.
Well, yeah.
And I have a thing about that. Hard work will only get in a call.
Is it?
It's for my brother.
Oh, good.
Do you believe in luck?
Luck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say luck beats skill every time.
Yeah.
So
you think there are some people who are created purely out of luck, or like create their success purely out of luck?
Yeah, like they just get lucky.
I'd
say it's mostly in all brands to go like viral. A lot of on like social media platforms, people that have gone viral off those platforms, that's luck.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people are lucky. Like, here's an example. Can you tell me what's original about Charlie D'Amelio's content?
I can't stand her content. Nothing. She's not even the best dancer on TikTok.
So now you're gonna roast her?
I'm not roasting her. I'm just saying she got lucky because 95% of other people on TikTok.
I do want to say, episode 2, you did say that she was smart.
She's smart. Okay. I'll just explain my full stance on this.
Maybe what she does isn't great, but you said that she works smart.
She works smart now. But how she works smart now that she's at the top, at the tip top of TikTok, the 1% of creators on TikTok.
But she blew up out of luck.
But when she got to the top, she was very smart at, getting her sponsorship deals with Dunkin' Donuts and, all the other companies she works with. So that's where I commend her that, yes, you have to be smart because if you blow up out of luck, you don't just get to stay at the top just because you blew up off one thing.
Yeah, you aren't going to be there forever.
Yeah, and which is why you see a lot of creators, they just flame out after 6-8 months of doing things.
Jeff Bezos has Insta and Twitter and Facebook, I believe. Okay. But does he post frequently to it? Do you know, Bucky? Yeah.
It's probably not him that runs it, but.
Is he an active influencer though, or?
No, I just does Instagram and Twitter. He posts.
Yeah, can you look up one of his most recent posts for us?
Most recent.
Yeah.
February
February
Okay,
20.
so he posts a
what kind
fair
of
amount.
content? What kind of content is he producing via social media?
Discussing
Inspirational.
climate, sustainability, and preserving the natural world with.
Yeah, so it's
yeah.
inspirational.
So did you see the thing? I think it was like a month ago that he just revealed that he's donating $1 billion towards combat.
Is it in billion?
I
I thought it was 100 million.
I'll look it up. It was a large sum.
I mean, yeah. And it pissed me off. So when that news broke, there was legitimately people saying, very vocal people on Twitter, people just even in my classes, saying that he didn't do enough.
No, yeah, like I don't screw those people. Like he literally donated like $1 billion. So you're fine. $10 billion.
$10 billion.
10 billion. Yeah. People are
Okay.
saying his net worth was
The Amazon founder is giving $10 billion to a new initiative that will fund programs to combat the effects of climate change.
what's his
Okay.
net worth?
A lot. It's
Let's look it up.
over $100 billion.
It's-
The bulk of his net worth that amounts to $43 billion.
No, look it up. That's
Well,
not it.
that's the bulk.
How much is?
I know it got
It's not. It's way more.
I know
than 53, 'cause
he-
Bill Gates is
he's
like
worth-
56 and he's far above Bill.
he's worth no, he's not. Bill Gates
$110.5 billion
$110.5
US dollars.
and he was worth a lot more. So that's what 65% of his original net worth was
And-
before he got divorced because
and-
his wife took
And Bill Gates is 103.68.
yeah.
Yeah, and he said that he's going to be giving $10 billion. But the thing is, he's not giving it all away. He's like,
He's smart about it.
no, well, basically what he's doing is he's going to be giving it away like over time. So like it's not gonna happen all at once. It's gonna be like something that he's not
Which I agree with because I mean, if you give 10 billion away at once and stuff happens then
Yeah, but I mean he's more than likely to make it back within probably a month.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a month.
Not a month, but
yeah,
he'll
but
make it back and he'll be fine.
have you seen like the thing like about how much Bill Gates makes every minute or every second?
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't want to go into that right now
Yeah.
because I mean I don't really try to stay out of like reading stuff like that because it's just like
Yeah,
It's accurate.
it's
I don't-
accurate,
I
but
don't
it's
care
like
enough.
what
I don't
do
care.
I get out of it? Like
nothing.
No, but I'm just saying like
Yeah.
Jeff isn't gonna suffer from
yeah,
it.
obviously
he'll be
no.
fine, yeah.
He's not gonna suffer whatever. But what pisses me off is people saying, "Oh, he should have done more."
Right. Okay. Yeah, and I $10 billion. Like really, you should do more than $10 billion. Like okay. Like how about you go donate $10 billion?
I don't think people realize how much $10 billion is. That's that's the number 10 with 9 zeros at the end of it.
Mhm.
It's a lot.
That is a lot of money.
Do you guys want to get into the? Do you guys want to get into freaking Stefan Diggs?
There it is. So, last night, this is... Why is it not popping up now?
I think you have to disconnect and reconnect. It's kind of an ass.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Speed it up.
Okay.
So
Alright,
this
there
is
we go.
this is me last night. So,
Wait, are these like Samsung emojis? What
bro,
are these?
these are on the iPad. I don't know why. Yeah, what's with the Android emojis, bro? So this is my reaction last night after I was on Twitter just scrolling through, and I saw from some reporter that covers the Vikings, Stefan Diggs has been traded to the Buffalo Bills.
Wow.
So first thing I did was check if that was like one of those satire accounts like The Onion or something, because I was like, no way, dude, this is fun.
Or the NFL memes page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. It was a credit. It was Adam Schefter, so a credited, a very highly respected member of the NFL media community. So I was like, and then earlier that day, DeAndre Hopkins got traded to the Arizona Cardinals for David Johnson and a 4th round pick and a 6th round pick. So DeAndre Hopkins, for those of you who don't know, he's top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So when deals with players of that nature happens, that's usually what sets the market. That's the top. Everything below it's going to be worth less. So I was thinking to myself, if DeAndre Hopkins only got a washed out running back and like a 4th round pick out of it, what do we get for Diggs? I like it,
like nothing. I mean, what is it like?
Well, it
4 picks or something like
it's
that?
4 picks, but one. So, yeah, see, that's where I was like. So I look at the details of it, and it's. So I was still like pretty pissed at this moment because I'm like, are we really just gonna go trade away probably one of our best assets on the entire team?
Yeah, but
Well,
let me ask
I would
you
say our
guys
best
this.
receiver is Thielen.
Hold on, let me ask
He
you
was
guys,
hurt for most of
Yeah.
last year, but he's our best receiver.
let me ask you guys this. Do you really yeah, it's sad that we're going to lose Diggs because I mean Diggs is great, but do you really want a player on your team who doesn't actually want to be there?
Well, yeah, I'm fine with it now because
Yeah.
once I saw the
Like he
details,
clearly wanted to leave.
once I saw the details of the trade, quite honestly, the Buffalo Bills got robbed because Diggs is 27 years old.
Uh-huh.
I'd say he's probably got 3 years of being
In
an
his
elite
prime.
wide receiver left in him because
Yeah.
once wide receiver and running back, they're positions where you have to be an explosive player, and
Mhm.
once you hit age 30, I'm sorry, but there's only a very select few people that can still be explosive after age 30.
AP. AP. as well.
Randy Moss was one of them. Adrian Peterson was one of them. Larry Fitzgerald.
Mhm.
That's 3 people that I
Well,
can list off in like the last 10, 15 years.
Mhm.
So think about it. Buffalo Bills, they got a player. Yes, he's a great player. I'm not going to knock on him because he's an incredible player. I mean, he's...
when he's not in a good mood, he kind of sucks. Like,
Well,
if he's like...
I wouldn't say that. People say that he gives up on plays when he's not in a good mood. Not really. I mean, in the NFC Championship game, Cousins threw that interception to Richard Sherman. Why did he throw the interception? Because
He sucks.
Thielen...
Okay.
Thielen gave up on the play.
Another thing. Cousins. More years on the Vikings. How many... I just want to get rid of him.
Well, they had to do it because they need to re-sign Dalvin Cook because he's not going to show up to training camp if he doesn't get a new deal. I mean, he's not going to be playing for $950,000 a year after being a top 3 running back in the NFL, and he's not stupid. If you play the running back position, there's a higher chance than most other positions that you're going to get hurt. So he wants to make his money. So in case he does, like, I hope to God this doesn't happen, but in case he does have like some sort of career-ending injury, that he's not going back to just being what he was before. So yeah, so the Diggs trade. Thanks, Bucky. He's telling us right now. The Diggs trade. So for this year in the draft, which is supposed to be in April if it doesn't get delayed because of coronavirus, it's the Buffalo Bills' first-round pick, their fifth-round pick, their sixth-round pick, and then in 2021 we get another fourth-round pick from the Buffalo Bills.
And, I mean, you never know. Like I was saying, like how last year, how the Bills like did pretty good. Like that was surprising. I still think they suck. I don't know why.
Their quarterback was ranked he was ranked 32nd in the NFL in like quarterback play. So that doesn't include his running abilities. So that just accuracy and things like that. Kirk Cousins was ranked 5th because I mean, yeah, he can't really make plays off his feet or whatever.
We pick up a new wide receiver.
Yeah, so so now we got 2 first-round picks. So something that could happen was they either take both of those first-round picks, put together a package to possibly move up into like the top 10, top 5 to pick up to draft like a elite college prospect quarterback like Tua. I don't think the Bengals will move out of the.
I don't think they would do that after just signing Kirk Cousins.
Well,
again.
You got to understand, though, they have Kirk. So the deal looks like they got 3 more years on the deal. However, you really only have 2 because the way they structured his contract is in the 3rd year, there's only $10 million that he's making in the 3rd year.
Mm-hmm.
So they could cut him in the 3rd year for basically nothing. Like his contract in his last year is identical to what Xavier Rhodes' contract was this year. And just earlier in the week, they cut Xavier Rhodes and they actually saved money.
Right.
So
You think they should cut him?
Not right now because I mean it's gonna be like $31 million of cap money that they can't spend that they have to pay him.
Also, hold on a tangent. Case Keenum on the Browns. I mean, wow.
They're paying this guy like mid tier starting quarterback money.
I mean, that's
to be a
amazing,
backup.
Though. That is amazing. Like the Browns, by far the best team in the NFL. We are going to win a Super Bowl. Like we're making full 180 comeback. Did a full 180. Yeah, if the Vikings played the Browns, I'm wearing my Browns jersey.
I'm actually happy that he got traded to the Bills of all places, because it was numerous times this season where he was obviously frustrated at Kirk Cousins. Well, if you didn't like the 5th best quarterback in the NFL, you have the 32nd best now. There's 32 teams in the league. So he's literally going to be playing with the worst starting quarterback in the
I can't
NFL.
believe Cousins is 5th.
He was 5th because
He should not be 5th.
yeah, that stat is flawed because I mean, Cousins he can't scramble. He's a
You can't
statue.
rank a quarterback 5th. Then we're like 500. Like every season, he can't beat a good team.
Yeah, he's a statue. He doesn't have the playmaking ability. You like that?
You like that?
Yeah, he doesn't have the playmaking ability of like what some of these younger quarterbacks do. But Josh Allen literally can't pass the ball.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play quarterback in the NFL, I'm sorry, but you got to be able to hit your receivers on their chest more than 10 yards down the field.
Of being a quarterback is being able to throw the ball accurately. So,
it doesn't matter if you can run like Lamar Jackson. Even Lamar Jackson can throw the ball well. If you're going to be a quarterback, you have to be able to throw the ball. Mm-hmm. And Josh Allen can't hit a target more than 20 yards down the field. Like, he can't hit moving targets. So if he was pissed that Kirk Cousins, I mean, most of the time when he threw it his way, he was hitting him.
Again?
Oh, you guys think you're the CEO?
No one said, I never said once that I'm the CEO.
Oh,
Dante, stop.
I beg to differ.
All right, next topic.
Stop. Wow.
What the?
What is those?
Tom Brady, yesterday,
Oh my God.
stating that he will not be returning to New England.
I think we all saw this coming.
I think, but this is what a picture. I'll just throw that out there. I mean,
It's a little disturbing.
I don't think he's the greatest of all time. Do you?
No.
Really?
No.
Why?
I don't know.
Just because you don't like him?
Well, I mean, kind of.
I mean,
Well, I don't like him either, but like,
He's not the greatest.
Respect where
quarterback to ever
respect
play
is
the
due.
game.
or at least if he is, I don't think he will be in a couple years.
Well, obviously, he's like, how old is he?
he's 41.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
he's not even top 5 quarterback in the league anymore.
Yeah.
No, I'd say overall, Peyton Manning. Probably.
Really?
I'd probably rank Peyton Manning above him.
Bucky's throwing up Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
See, Drew Brees, I have a hard time because there's an asterisk attached to the Super Bowl that he won.
Yes, but every time we play Drew Brees, it's hard. Every single year he's on the Saints, it's hard to play them.
That's with any of these all-timer.
He's always good.
Yeah, I mean, it's always gonna be.
But like, what was their record last year? The Patriots.
They were. So they started off 10-0, and then I think they went 12-4.
Yeah.
And they won their division, but since they lost the last game to Ryan Fitzmagic, the GOAT, since they lost that last game to the Dolphins, they missed out on that number 2 spot in the AFC, and so they didn't have that first round bye.
I miss that moment of like what was that last year where Fitzmagic was like 500 yards a game. That was awesome.
Oh yeah,
And he showed up to the press conference
with
wearing the.
Can you believe this guy went to Harvard?
So Brady's a free agent now, right?
Yeah.
So how much longer do you guys think he has left in the NFL?
I mean,
what if the Vikings pick up Brady?
No chance. If any team's gonna sign him, I'd say the max they give him is a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
And so he's not going back to New England because I'm pretty sure they had some falling out between him and Belichick. Where do you guys think he's going? Bucky says Dolphins.
Yeah. Wait, did you?
You spell it wrong.
Dolphins.
It says Dolphins.
He spelled Dolphins.
There you go.
There, he fixed it.
Hopefully the Browns. That'd be so cool.
Let's pay 3 quarterbacks like.
Why can't we just throw everyone on the Browns and we'll be amazing? No. Where could he go? I feel like he's gonna go to like the most average team in the NFL. Which the Vikings are the most average team in the NFL.
Yeah.
But who is like? I'm saying like a worse.
Chargers. You know why?
Why?
He's not gonna be there for a long time.
So he just wants to retire wherever he moves to next.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. He's gonna retire. So he gets to live in LA and his wife's a model. So obviously she's gonna love LA because more
They already
opportunity.
live in LA. They already have a house in LA.
Yeah. But like living full time in LA where she doesn't have to travel back and forth for whatever reason.
Well,
So
I don't. She probably travels for modeling.
Yeah, his family will probably love LA because and he's from California.
They're neighbors with Mark Wahlberg. They are.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're like best friends, I guess.
So his family, because he's from LA too, and the Chargers are opening a new stadium, and I don't know if you guys know this, but the Chargers, they played basically 16 away games this past season because all their home games, their stadium would be taken over by the opposing team's fans.
Yeah.
And how do you counter that? You get Tom freaking Brady. Like, tell me that's not gonna draw people to the crowd, people to the new stadium, and they're opening a new stadium that they're sharing with the Rams.
What if they made like a team of like people that were amazing but are really old? So it was like Tom Brady, like Adrian Peterson. It was just like a team of like tuckered out like old guys. That would be sweet. They'd drink coffee before the games on the sidelines.
They'd be running like the offensive defensive schemes from like the 90s. Just completely.
I don't need this blasted Gatorade. Give me coffee decaf.
No, dude, they'd be popping like Advil on the
Give
side.
me some decaf.
Yeah.
My arthritis is. Can't throw the ball anymore. I got my arthritis.
So that was the NFL free agency recap.
Oh,
I feel
a
like
mess. Just a mess.
You know what's sad is that's probably the most entertaining thing that's gonna happen this entire year because of this freaking
is seeing where
Corona.
he goes.
What?
Or what are you saying?
I'm saying he goes to the Chargers.
No, so what did you say is going to be the most exciting thing of the year?
NFL free agency.
NFL free agency, as far as like that.
I feel like that about wraps.
Hold up. It's 1:58 p.m. on Tuesday right now when we're recording.
Episode 2.
2 minutes from now, episode 2 is about to go up, so we're excited for that. But you guys probably won't see this until Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yeah, in a week.
Yeah.
Wait.
Episode 2, so then episode 3 drops this Friday, and then this episode drops next Tuesday. Yep.
Yeah. Episode 3 goes up Friday. This goes up Tuesday.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Our recording and posting schedule is kind of confusing. I'm not gonna lie.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we'll get used to it.
All right, well, I think that about wraps it. So, thank you for watching another episode of Adulting.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to turn on those post notifications. Make sure to follow us on Instagram or listen to us in your car while you're driving or working out.
All of our Instagrams are in the
actually, you probably can't
also.
even work out at the gym anymore.
Yeah. Lifetime shut down today. Or yesterday, last night at 8 o'clock they shut down.
I saw that.
Question, do you think this was probably our most powerful episode yet?
I do.
In terms of heavy-hitting content?
It'll be interesting to see how the audience reacts to this episode. Like, are they going to like it, or is it going to be, like, less interaction with this? But I don't know. I hope they like it, because I think it was one of the most engaging episodes we've had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, I'd say, like, definitely our most heavy-hitting one we've filmed so far.
So with that, make sure you listen to us so we can get more money to increase the quality of these episodes. And
go follow my Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm gonna update the bio. CEO of Adulting.
Oh my
Podcast.
god. Okay.
Hopefully this world pandemic calms down in coming weeks.
And then I think we're going to somewhat vlog our spring breaks. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how this is all.
I think mine's gonna get canceled, but
maybe it'll be like us three just vlogging if we all end up having to stay.
By the way, it was our videographer Bucky's birthday yesterday, so this is a happy birthday episode for Bucky. Happy birthday, Bucky!
Happy birthday!
All right, so I guess with that, we'll see y'all later. Peace.